Today we're going to be talking about using phonic faces to teach orthographic patterns for decoding and spelling. A few things that we need to know about syllables. There are approximately 8 syllable patterns. All words are constructed in syllables. A syllable is all the sounds made in one jaw movement. Every syllable has one and only one vowel sound. It can have more letters, but only one vowel sound. And that's because English uses the Roman alphabet that only has 5 vowel letters, but there are at least 15 vowel sounds in most dialects of English. Therefore, we must use combinations of vowels to represent the other 10. If you look on the right, these are a picture of those syllables. We have a consonant, vowel, consonant, vowel, consonant, silent E. You'll notice that the vowel is a lighter color. That means it's going to be a long vowel. A short syllable, vowel, consonant. An open syllable, which is the opposite, consonant, vowel. And when the vowel ends the syllable, then it's going to be long. Consonant L plus silent E. A vowel combination, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant, in which case, once again, the vowel is often long. R controlled, ER, IR, UR, AR, OR, and final Y. In the phonic faces alphabet, the consonants are kids. The kids are in most syllable patterns, although vowels can stand alone in a syllable. The relationship between the consonant kids and the vowels often determine if the vowel is short or long. Consonants include the digraphs CH, SH, TH, WH, and NG, as well as the single letters. The digraphs use 2 letters to make one sound, such as ch or sh. This is the representation of the various types of vowels using phonic faces. In phonic faces, the short vowels are babies because babies are short, and they make baby sounds. A, e, ah, and The long vowels are the adult version of each baby. So while this baby cries ah, this mother says a, so she's happy, the baby is sad. While the baby vowel says because he has his single tooth, Mr. E has all of his teeth, so he says E. While the baby vowel I doesn't like carrots and says the mother has to wear eyeglasses because she didn't eat enough carrots. While the baby vowel gets his throat tested, you can see his uvula and says ah. The adult O says oh, makes the perfect operatic O note. And finally, baby U says she's a hard thinker. And now the adult can tell you all the answers. The vowel combinations and placement within syllables are going to be used to indicate whether the vowel is going to be long or short in a word. Some vowel combinations or diphthongs signal gliding articulatory movements. So when we have a sound like aw, our mouth actually moves in the production. Oi, our mouth moves to produce that. Ugh, ooh, ow. So these are considered diphthongs, or a gliding articulatory movement. And then finally, our family. R preceded by a vowel takes on a vowel quality, so they're called R controlled. A and R doesn't say r, it says R. E and R doesn't say r, it says So does IR, OR says or, and UR also says All right, so now we are going to look at our 8 basic syllable patterns. The closed syllable rule, or the CVC, short vowel syllable. When a vowel is closed in by consonants on both sides, the vowel is usually short unless silent E applies. So we have our consonant vowel consonant, cat, and then we have the consonant blend, ST, vowel consonant, step. We have our WI and then our diphthong, sh, wish. We have d, g, dog. And then we have a consonant vowel, consonant rub. So all of these are baby vowels, or they're the short vowels. In the phonic faces system, we tell stories. So that same rule is when there are kids on both sides to take care of the baby is safe and usually stays to make it sound. So we have k, at, and so the baby can't run away. There are kids on both sides. St, ep, and again the baby stays because there are kids on both sides. W, I, sh, d, a, g, r, a, b. The short syllable rule, or a vowel followed by a consonant. When a vowel precedes a consonant at the beginning of a syllable, the vowel is usually short. Examples are at, egg, if, odd, and up. The phonic faces story. When a baby vowel is followed by a consonant kid, the consonant holds the baby's hand so it can stay at the beginning of the syllable. At, egg, if, odd, up. There are many spelling strategies to create a long vowel sound, including the vowel at the end of a syllable, a double vowel within a word, a silent E, and other silent letters such as G, as in sign. So the first pattern is the open syllable for a long vowel. So a word that begins with a consonant, or a syllable rather, that begins with a consonant and ends in a vowel, the vowel is usually long. In phonic faces, the story is a baby left at the end of a syllable or word could run away or get hurt. The grown-up usually comes in instead. So instead of it's me. Instead of I, it's hi. Instead of it's go. The next pattern is the vowel digraph rule, or two vowels together within a word. When two vowels are together in a syllable, the first vowel is usually long and the second is silent. Gate, deep, goat. The phonic faces story is when two babies are alone together, they could go walking and get hurt. The grown-up from the first baby comes in and takes care of both of them. The first grown-up does the talking. When two babies go walking, the first grown-up does the talking. So we see our first pair up here, g, a, it. But instead of saying g, a, it, g, a, it, we say gate. The first grown-up takes care of both of them and does the talking. Same thing with the second one, d, e, ep. But instead, the two babies try to go walking, so the first grown-up comes in and does the talking, d, eep. The last example, we've got g, a, at. But instead of the two babies being together and going for a walk, the first grown-up comes in and takes care of them, g, oat. The next rule is the silent E rule. Consonant, vowel, consonant, silent E. When a syllable ends in E, the preceding vowel, separated by a consonant, is usually long. So we've got the examples of gate, dime, the silent E turns the vowel long. Instead of dim, it's going to be dime. And poke, the silent E turns the O long. Instead of pock E, it's poke. The silent E rule is Mr. E doesn't like babies and complains when they are in his words. The adult comes in to protect the baby and silences Mr. E by zipping his mouth shut. So we have g at. Oh no, there's a baby in my word. I don't like babies. And then Mama comes in and says, Mr. E, you be silent. And she makes the sound g8. Next word, d-i-m-e-e-e. I don't like babies. They make noise and they spit up carrots. I don't like them in my words. And the grown-up comes in and says, silence, Mr. E. And then she makes the sound d-I'm. In the last word, same pattern. P-awk-e-e-e. I don't like babies in my word. Get that baby out of my word. He just keeps making noises. And the grown-up comes in and says, Mr. E, you be silent. So the word sounds out oak. Final Y. Consonant plus the letter Y. Either makes a long E or an I sound. When a syllable ends in Y, it is usually a long I vowel, single or polysyllabic word, or a long E in a polysyllabic word. So in the single syllable word try, the Y makes the I sound. In the two syllable word deny, the Y makes an I sound, but in the word baby, the Y makes an E sound. And we have a lot of those words: funny, baby, silly, puppy. The Phonic Faces story, when baby Y is at the end of a word, he makes a sound from his cheek. Sometimes he makes a grown-up I, and sometimes he giggles e-e-e like funny or silly. So we've got T-R-Y, T-R-I, D-E-N-I, deny, B-A, B-E-E-E, baby. There are other spelling strategies to represent syllables in English. We're now going to look at consonant plus LE and R-controlled vowels. Consonant plus final LE. When a syllable ends in a consonant plus LE, the E functions as the vowel in the syllable, but it is silent. Title. You don't hear the E, and the E does not make anything long. The tie, that syllable, that vowel is long because it ends the syllable. That's a consonant vowel. Apple. And again, we don't say apple-y, we say apple. The E is silent. And table, the E is silent. The Phonic Faces story. When a syllable ends in a consonant kid and consonant L, they are missing a vowel. Silent E comes in to give the syllable a vowel. Same word, I-t-l. The vowel is the silent E. Apple, the vowel is the silent E. Table, the vowel is the silent E. R-controlled syllables. When a vowel precedes an R, it is neither long nor short. It is controlled by the R. Other vowel rules may be applied first and then controlled by the R. So we look at the word art, erg, irk, orb, and earn. The vowels are not heard. They are controlled by the R. On the next row of examples, though, we have an AI and an R. So instead of saying an R there, we have to use the two vowels go walking rule. So AI turns into A, air. Same with the next rule. We see two vowels together. So the second one is silent, the first one is heard. Ear. The next one, the silent E rule applies. The silent E at the end turns the I into a long vowel, ire. The next one, the O and the A create a long O sound, or. And on the OU sound, OU says ow, ow, ow. And so you apply that rule first and then add the hour and the R letter, hour, hour. Similarly, the OU is going to say an oo in this word, and you're going to say to oor. The silent E story. Arlene controls everyone, including the vowels. They must include her sound. Arlene is strong enough to even control the grown-up long vowel sounds. So, ra turns into art. Art. Ra turns into erg. Ira turns into irk. Ra turns into orb. And ra turns into earn. When you look at applying the vowel rules first, you see the two babies going walking. And so you need to capture the babies with one long vowel. So grown-up A comes in and says air. Similarly, E and A are going walking. Grown-up E comes in and makes the sound for both of them, ear. And then finally, O and U, instead of saying it's going to be the ow, ow sound, hour. Okay, now that we know the syllables, we can start talking about polysyllabic words, where you have to put multiple syllables together or decode the syllable or extract, where you have to, for spelling, put multiple syllables together, or for decoding, separate the syllables. Remember, a syllable is all of the sounds made in one jaw movement. Each syllable must have a vowel and may or may not have one or more consonants. So let's locate the vowels and mark them. First one, E, I, and S. The next one, I, O, and E. I always tell the kids A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. And I use sign language. They love to watch the hand movements that go with the vowels, but they get that rhythm A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, because most poor spellers and decoders don't even know the difference between a consonant and a vowel. Okay, the next word, applause. A, U, and E. Together. O, E, and E. Exaggerate, E, A, E. Envelope, E, O, E. Transfusion, A, U, I, O. Considerable, O, I, E, A, and E. Authentic, A, U, E, and I. So we've marked all the vowels as a starting point, because remember, the syllables are going to be based on the vowels. Step 2. When there are two consonants together, place a syllable break unless the consonants are a digraph. So look at the first word, exercise. Do you see two consonants together? If you see two consonants together, then you move them apart. That's a syllable break. Where do you see a syllable break in the word discover? Okay, between the S and the C. What about the word applause? Okay, between the two P's. Together. This is a tricky one. The syllable break occurs after the TH because that's a digraph. That's one phoneme that is spelled using two letters. And let's look at the word exaggerate, where you see a split, obviously between the two G's. Let's try the word envelope. The N and the V. Transfusion. When we look at the three consonants together, you have to say, well, are any of them blends or go together in some meaningful way? Well, there isn't a blend that says S and F. We don't have any words that fit that spelling pattern. So the N and the S go together and we'll split after the S. Considerable. And then finally, authentic. The first two consonants are a T and an H again. That's a digraph. So we don't split it there, but the N and the T are a syllable or two syllables. Okay, so now we've done the first rule. We've, identified the vowels and we've broken our words into syllables based on the syllable break rule. When two consonants are together, you break the word between. You break the word into syllables between the two consonants unless it's a digraph. Okay, next. How does phonic faces help children understand this? The story is when there are two kids or consonants together, they talk. So the teacher moves them apart, except for digraphs, which is just one kid. So same words as before, but we can see the R and the C are two different kids. They have to move apart and quit talking to each other. The S and the C, two kids, move them apart. The two P's, move them apart. But together, the TH does not represent two different consonants. That's just one consonant that's spelled with two letters or a digraph. And then we split the two G's in the word exaggerate. All right, now that we've got the words split apart, we can start to apply those 8 syllable rules to look for further syllables. So you see that we have the EX